everyone, if you didn't watch my video about Urban Decay's Moondust palette, then you're probably wondering why I look like Beetlejuice right now. And that is not a hit against the palette because I absolutely loved it, but you're going to have to watch to see why I look like this. Anyway, so I decided since I was already filming that I would do a quick story time. Now, I know story times are so funny because like I have so many stories. I've been told by a few of my friends that I should write a book because the things that happen to me in life are so bizarre that I swear I don't understand it. Some good, some bad, some just bizarre. And anyway, so I only done one story time, and I sit and I try to think like what's going to be a good story time. What's a good story to tell? And honestly, like, they're all like inappropriate and, not always on my end either. But I feel like the majority of my stories are, have some sort of inappropriateness in them. So I was trying to think of a story that is rated PG, and I thought of one, catfishing. When you pretend to be someone you're not over the internet so you can talk to someone that you feel normally would not accept you if they knew who you really were or who you really look like, or just to kind of get away from life and be someone else. Or, I mean, there's multiple reasons people do it. I'm gonna just like go straight out there and say it because like I've catfished someone, and this is my story time, and I know why I did it, and so I'm gonna go right out there and just say it. I think the majority of people catfish people because they are afraid they won't be accepted because of the way they look. So with that being said, that's just my opinion. I know that's why I did it. I was young. I think I was 14. The internet just started coming around, you've got mail, like ASL, all that stuff. So anyway, I don't even remember how or any of this BS, but I met a guy on an AOL chat room, and we started AIMing, the private messaging, and we just kind of like hit it off. Like, he seemed like a really nice kid, a couple years older than me, no biggie. Very nice. He lived in a state that is by me, that is not very far, and I thought he was very attractive. So me being up and down in weight my entire existence, pretty much, at that point in time, I was actually down in weight, but my self-esteem was still, and is still, like, let's not joke around, fragile. I wasn't confident with who I was uncomfortable with my body, and I was 14. So I decided, when he, do you want to exchange pics and blah, 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 and I was like, yeah, okay. So he sends me a few pictures of him, and they're all very believable photos. He's handsome. Then it came time for me to send him a photo. I Googled. I don't even know if Google was around then. I asked Jeeves. That's what I did. I asked Jeeves. That's a time I'm from. So I went to askjeeves.com. I'm guessing, I don't really remember how I came up with this photo, but I found a photo of this beautiful blonde woman laying in bed, fully clothed, with a beer or a drink in her hand, smiling. She looked to be about 17 or 18. I was not lying about my age. However, I was lying about what I look like. So I sent him this photo, and I'm like, I hate to send you this photo because it's the only one I have, and my scanner's broke. My scanner, OMG, like, please, my scanner, so old, is broke. It's the only one I have myself. All the same catfish lies, just like 20 years prior. Oh my god. So anyway, and of course, and I say of course because this girl was a knockout. She was, it's like, oh my god, you're gorgeous, you're so hot, blah 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 blah. I did give him my address. Stupid. And he did write me letters and send me actual photographs. Because again, you know, like if our scanners went down, gee golly, then what would we do? But yes, he would write to me. He would send me photos in the mail. My mom, I'll never forget the day my mom found a letter from him. Like she went to get the mail and she found this letter and she's like, "Who is this?" And I'm like, and then finally I just told her the truth. I'm like, "Listen, he's a guy I met on the internet and my friend, blah, 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 blah." Shit hit the fan. Like my mom flipped out. She was like fighting with me and I was fighting with her and she was like coming after me, and I remember throwing the dining room chair, and like the dining room chair was like solid wood. I don't like big wood. I remember not like picking it up like the Hulk, but you know, like knocking it over. Like, don't tell me. It was a very dramatic experience, you know. My little 14-year-old heart, 15-year-old, I don't know how old I was. I had to have been 13 or 14 then, because I know it was not when I had my first, like, not my first, but my first real boyfriend. I don't count the other one as real. So what ended up happening was I had his number and we would talk on the phone here and there. So my mom basically I'm sorry, I keep looking at the viewfinder because it's like counting down like how much time I have until my like memory card's up, and it's like freaking making me nervous. Anyway, so my mom made me call his mom, or him, and he made his mom get on the phone. They talked for an extended period of time, and then it became okay. It was okay that we went back and forth. And you know, even that, looking at it now, he could have easily gotten like someone to be his mom or whatever, and you know, but back in the day, the internet was new. There wasn't all this crazy To Catch a Pedophile and the catfishing show, and like it wasn't, you know, like people didn't know everything that was going to come from this internet at the time. And I feel like I'm like talking to someone who like founded the world. We didn't know this was the dawn of a new era. Anyway, so we became allowed to talk as much as we wanted via the internet, via, you know, the US postal system, via you know, just phone, whatever. And we talked, and eventually I did tell him, I was like, "Listen, I really like you. I can't lie to you anymore. Like, I've been lying to you about what I look like. That picture I sent you was a fake. This is the real me. Like, here's a picture of me. And I'll be damned if he did not forgive me." He said that he was upset that I lied, of course, and that I'm gonna take a little bit of time to trust me again, but he appreciated me telling him the truth, and he thought that the picture that was actually of me at that age, at that time in life, he thought that I was pretty or beautiful, whatever he said. So I was so happy, because not only did I really like this guy, but I had this big weight lifted off my shoulders by telling him, "Hey, I'm a catfish." Back then that wasn't a term. Just like, "Hey, I'm a weirdo," that gave you a weird photo. And I did tell him this sooner rather than later. I actually think I told him the truth before the whole tossing the dining room chair incident happened with my mom. So I mean, I think it went on for about a year until I told him. We continued to talk on and off for years. Finally, I was in high school. I was in between relationships, and he called me and he's like, "Hey, you know, I'm going to school in a city nearby me." And by nearby, I mean like half an hour. He's like, "That's where I'm going to college." And I was like, "Oh my God, that's so cool. You know, like we definitely got to meet up and this and that and this and that." And so yeah, you know, we did it. I was nervous as heck, but we did it. We met up, we hung out, and you know, my mom let him come over. She let him spend the night. Yeah, I mean, it was nice. He was a great guy. It was a fun time hanging out with him, and it was all pretty on the up and up. But during that time, actually having personal one-on-one experience with him, something that I kind of was thinking in my head, but I didn't want to assume just from speaking to him on the phone and knowing him for so many years. And then I didn't want to just assume this though, because what did I know? But spending that time with him, that 2 days with him, I kind of got that never actually confirmed, but pretty darn close to confirmed. Um, what I was thinking was true, and we talked after that, after we hung out those 2 days, yeah, but I think we might have hung out once another time, I'm not sure, but then as we talked, as we got older, I started having this little suspicion about something, and it was nothing bad or horrible, it wasn't like an axe murder or anything like that. But, what I was thinking was nothing to be ashamed of, but it was unfortunately just something that would keep him from wanting to be with me, and ultimately would keep me from wanting to be with him. So we stayed friends, and then we lost touch, and we haven't spoken in forever. That's my story time about the time that I was a big catfish. But it worked out okay in the end. But don't catfish, it's bad. As always, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have a great night.